In one of my previous videos, we gave an update on what each of the remaining Gothboy Clique members was doing now. But what about Lil Peep's other collective, Schemaposse? Joining early into his career, Schemaposse would be one of the main reasons Peep would fly across the country to pursue music, leaving his childhood home in Long Island behind. So, where are the members from Schemaposse's mid-20 teens run today? This video idea was suggested by multiple people on the channel, so shout out to you all, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The number of members throughout Schemaposse's history is much greater than that of Gothboy Cliques, so this video is going to focus on 8 of the more relevant members during Lil Peep's time with the collective. To give an example, popular artists such as Sempra have been affiliated with Schemaposse during the collective's resurgence, but they were not involved during the 2015 to 2017 prime era. Schemaposse was originally founded by Jay Green. Jay Green, who was a prominent figure in early SoundCloud rap, created the collective during the rise of internet hip-hop. Jay Green would officially disband the group in 2017 before reviving it a few years later. However, Schemaposse's initial run left a magnified impact on rap, and the collective would feature some of SoundCloud's biggest names. Jay Green. Where do we even begin with Jay Green? The founder of the collective himself was a former member of Raider Clan until 2013. A few years later, Jay Green would create Schemaposse, attempting to unify the underground and connect artists across the globe. Jay Green himself had many connections, from his ties to Raider Clan, to making songs with Suicide Boys and Puya. Jay Green had one of the underground's largest influences at a point in time. One thing that Jay Green prides himself on is claiming that he was the person who found Lil Peep and helped him rise to fame. While this statement is bold in itself, Schemaposse was the collective where Peep would find his footing within the music scene. The Peep Schemaposse era was a brief but impactful few months from the end of 2015 to mid-2016, producing some of the underground's most influential songs and moments. In April of that year, Schemaposse would begin to crash and burn after Peep and Ghostemane would leave just days before their No Jumper interview would release. This moment started the snowball effect, leading to the initial downfall of Schemaposse. By the beginning of 2017, Schemaposse was no longer, at least for the time being. In January 2017, Jay Green would announce he would be disbanding Schemaposse, stating, "It was a good run, and it made people's dreams come true just like I said it would. But now it's on to other things." While there was plenty of drama following Jay Green, the end of Schemaposse's first run would mark a turning point in his own career. A lot of the connections Jay Green had built suddenly became burned bridges. His relationship with the Suicide Boys would fall apart after learning that Ruby the Cherry, one half of the New Orleans rap duo, was one of the major influences for Peep and Ghostemane's departure from the collective. Yet, all this drama did not slow Jay Green from making songs. From 2017 to 2019, Jay Green would release over 12 projects. In 2020, the new age of Schemaposse would be born. In an attempt to revive the posse once more, Jay Green would bring the likes of Sempra, Sam Go Hard, and others. During the new age, Jay Green would also have the Elemental album with Lil Peep officially released, removing Ghostemane's verses from all songs. This new age would last a few years before ultimately falling apart one final time. We'll discuss a little bit why later in the video, but it's hard to talk about Jay Green without connecting it back to the history of Schemaposse. It was ultimately his creation, and while he probably missed many opportunities to take the collective to the next level, you have to give Jay Green his flowers when it comes to finding talent. We know what Peep and Ghostemane became, and Sempra has built an impressive career, blowing up over the last few years. There isn't much else out there about what Jay Green is doing now. He still releases music, but ultimately keeps his personal life very reserved. Ghostemane. For Ghostemane, going solo was likely for the best, as since leaving Schemaposse, his career has risen to the next level. Following his departure, Ghost would release a string of his most popular albums including Black Mage, Hexada, and Noise. Exploding in growth, Ghost has amassed billions of listens across the internet. He would also create a black metal side project called Bader Meinhof, in which the band would release a few projects. In 2019, he would publicly begin dating fellow musician Poppy. They would move in together, get engaged in 2020 before breaking up in late 2021. Still, the two did various work for each other's careers, even appearing together on the cover of Alt Press magazine. For all the musical success Ghostemane has had, he has not released music in years, with his last album Anti-Icon being released all the way back in 2020. He did release a collaboration with Suicide Boys in 2023, but his hiatus has led fans to speculate he may have retired from music full stop. A Discord message from Ghostemane in 2022 even stated that he had already retired and was flirting with the idea of making a comeback. However, there is likely a good reason for his retirement or extended break. Ghostemane and his wife Sky, whom he married in 2023, had their first child together in December 2022. Juggling fatherhood, being a husband, and going on tour, Ghostemane has had a full plate regardless. A lot of his fans say he has music on the way, with Ghostemane hinting at a possible album himself, but no official releases have been made in half a decade. Nemesis. Nemesis released his first track in September of 2011 and would be one of Schemaposse's longest members. Earlier in the video, we talked about how the relationship between Ghostemane, Jay Green, and Schemaposse essentially fell apart in mid-2016. One of the outcomes of this was, of course, a diss track. The song Ghost Lame, which I'm sure you can understand the reference, was released in August of 2016 by Nemesis. To better understand why this song came to be, we have to dive into the description of one of the Nemesis Bandcamp projects, The Art of War. He would give a detailed description of why he was not on good terms with Ghostemane after he had left Schemaposse. Keep in mind, this was way back in early 2017, when the collective had already disbanded for the first time. We had a group chat, right? He didn't say shit to us when he left. If he would've went in there and said, "Alright y'all boys, it's been fun. I still fucks with y'all, and I appreciate all the support y'all gave me, but I think it's time I go solo. I can't really do the group shit anymore. Have a good one. Peace." If he would've said that, we'd be on good terms. It was clear that some of the Schema members felt a sense of betrayal, especially from Ghostemane. Nemesis believed that the spotlight was given to him because of Jay Green, and he would repay him by leaving the collective without saying a word. Nemesis now goes by NEME.FM and does a wide range of things. During the early 2020s, Nemesis was very active during Schemaposse's second wave, working with Sempra, Kold-Blooded, and others to revive the collective. He has also had some big opportunities within videography. For example, in 2023, he would direct the music video to DJ Smokey and Ruben Slick's First Name Last Name. Now, NEME.FM does various visual projects while sporadically releasing new songs. As one of Schema's most loyal members, NEME.FM, better known as Nemesis, will be remembered as a Schemaposse legend. Brennan Savage. While Brennan Savage is one of the more notable members on this list, his relationship and time with Schemaposse is relatively undocumented. While this video tries to capture the members who played a more prominent role in the collective, there were quite a few artists who joined for a brief period in 2016. Brennan Savage would originally move to California with his childhood friend Lil Peep. Yes, Brennan Savage and Lil Peep were friends back in their hometown of Long Island, New York. The two would begin attending Glendale Community College, where Brennan Savage would study business administration. Peep would drop out of college to pursue music full-time, while Brennan would become motivated to record by observing the music scene during his college days. Seeing what Peep was doing within Schemaposse, Brennan would begin to release music in 2016. In his first ever public release, he would feature with Lil Heartbreak on the Nadarb track, You Took My Heart. It was also at Brennan's Pasadena rental home that would serve as the birthplace of the mid-2010s emo rap movement. Dozens of artists would be living there at a time, including Schemaposse members Lil Peep and Craig Zen, as well as other close affiliates such as Nadarb and Kill Station. One interesting debate is the relationship that Peep and Brennan Savage had after moving to California. While Brennan has publicly denied these claims, some fans say that they had a falling out, while others say Brennan did not treat Gus well while they lived together. They didn't fall out, but they argued a bit, mostly over money to pay rent, but Peep's mom said Brennan kicked Peep out, and Brennan says Peep went on his own, so we don't really know what happened. Keep in mind, There was a brief period where Peep would move back to Long Island after his Schemaposse days, but there has never been an official statement stating that Brennan Savage and Lil Peep were ever on bad terms. Moving forward, some of his future releases such as Look at Me Now and Bulletproof would give him international attention. In 2018, Brennan Savage would tour across Europe, marking his international touring debut. Over the last 7 years, he has released numerous albums such as Tragedy, Darkroom, and Till Death Do Us Part. Along with music, Brennan is also a huge foodie. He loves going out to restaurants and has stated some of his best ideas come while eating a nice meal. There's probably a lot more I could say about Brennan Savage, and there was some drama related to Brennan potentially scamming producers Better Off Dead and Pretty Heartbreak, but in the essence of time, we'll leave it at that. He still makes music today and just came back from a long break with his EP Let It Burn. Craig Zen. Craig Zen joined Schemaposse from 2015 to 2016. As opposed to leaving, Craig Zen was actually kicked out of the collective due to personal conflicts surrounding the group's substance abuse. Specifically, he did not agree with others influencing Lil Peep's addictions. Going through rehab himself, Craig was very opposed to the heavy substance lifestyle of many rappers. He even began his rap career because he could not find employment and did not want to sell. After his time with Schemaposse, Craig Zen would join members only with XXXTentacion and Ski Mask the Slump God, featuring on Members Only Volume 3 and going on X's Revenge Tour. Throughout the next few years, Craig Zen would release various projects, including Death Note with Lil Skies and Nar. Being an extremely close friend with X, his death would hit him hard. In the period leading up to X's death, the two would begin live streaming video games on Twitch in an attempt to change their lifestyles. During an Instagram Live from 2019, Craig Zen would talk about X's death, stating that every day he would open Instagram and see the most traumatic content in relation to his late friend. Craig would go through a brief period of releases after, with projects like Members Only Volume 4 and Run It Back. In 2020, Craig Zen would announce his departure from the music industry after his tour. He would not release any more songs until 2024, when he dropped 2 singles, Lost Without You and Back For You. He has no activity on social media, and there is no information about where he is now in 2025. As he has gone through a lot of hardship over the last decade, he is likely spending time with himself and on his health. I found a comment under a YouTube video that stated he was focusing on his relationship with Faith, and another claiming he has lived in Cyprus since X's death. However, these are both unverified statements. Kold-Blooded. Kold-Blooded has quietly been an important underground figure over the last decade. While you may not remember him straight away, you've likely heard some of his collaborations such as 666 Below with the Suicide Boys, his verse in the Schemaposse group song Homecoming, or his biggest project Face Cloud. Kold-Blooded seems to keep to himself, staying quite reserved from discussing his personal life. There are a few low-key interviews on the internet, including one in which he would explain his relationship with Lil Peep and how the influence of outsiders led to both Peep and Ghostemane leaving. In recent years, his music has all but slowed down, and Kold-Blooded has continued to work with underground legends such as Omen 13 and producers such as Mr. Cisco and Curtis Heron. Kold-Blooded was a member of Schemaposse basically throughout its entire existence. In that time, he would be one of the most loyal members to the group, sticking through all the drama caused largely by Jay Green. Toward the final days of Schemaposse, Kold-Blooded would finally call out Jay Green after the Coda NFT situation, where Jay Green did not like the color pink being used for his NFT. Kold-Blooded's final straw would essentially be the nail in the coffin for what we once knew as Schemaposse. For multiple years after, Kold-Blooded and Jay Green had not spoken a word with each other. Yet, it looks like the two are on somewhat decent terms now, as Kold-Blooded is scheduled to perform a few shows with Jay Green and Omen 13 in Texas this December. Outside of that, Kold-Blooded seems to be doing very well for himself. Based on a tweet posted in July of this year, Kold-Blooded lives a comfortable life with his wife and close circle of friends. Musically, he is still releasing and going on tour, with his most recent release in June of 2025. Gizmo. Gizmo is a trap metal artist from Rhode Island who had a brief stint in Schemaposse during 2016. In his younger days, Gizmo was an excellent swimmer and photographer. After high school, he would begin to study photography at a university in Newport, Rhode Island. However, only a few months later, Gizmo would move to California with his late friend Prohibio to pursue music full-time. Gizmo self-proclaims himself as one of the first 10 people making trap metal online, a genre popularized by artists such as Scarlord. However, prior to making a name for himself in the trap metal community, his earliest work would follow the emo rap sound, including the song Dreams with Lil Peep. Like Brennan Savage, there isn't much information about Gizmo's relationship with Schemaposse. He would be close with Schema members and affiliates, including Lil Peep and Killstation. His song Slurp would propel his career, along with other songs such as Blunt Force Head Trauma and Rampage, solidifying himself as a prominent figure in the trap metal scene. Gizmo would also date fellow artist Saphir for a while, before the couple would split. In March of 2025, Gizmo would post a life update to his Instagram, stating that he was now engaged and also an uncle. He enjoys fishing and hunting, and spends a lot of time with his close family and friends. Along with his successful music career, he also runs his own photography page, is part of the Kettlebottom creative marketing team, and is part of Wild Instinct USA, a company that makes wild deer attractants. 90s Bambino. Lastly, we have 90s Bambino. Now, there are probably other artists I could have included on this list, but there have been quite a bit of stories involving 90s Bambino, so I wanted to put them in this update for that reason. 90s Bambino is an artist and producer from Sao Paulo, Brazil, who is relatively involved in the underground throughout the mid-2010s. Collaborating and producing for a number of artists such as Black Cray, Coldheart, and Curb Lagoop, 90s Bambino would join Schemaposse from 2015 to 2017. They would be good friends with Lil Tracy during the Young Bruh Soulja Witch era, making multiple songs together including Vampire in the Moonlight, Counting Money Up. The 90s Bambino discography is a bit of a confusing one. They have deleted much of their music on SoundCloud, leaving only 11 remaining tracks as of November 2025. Most of 90s Bambino's music is up on their Bandcamp, but they are much less active in recent years. They have released a few projects since 2020, but the bulk of their discography was from the mid to late 2010s. Probably the most noteworthy thing about 90s Bambino is the drama and relationships with other members of the underground community. For example, there have been numerous claims online that 90s Bambino has been known to be problematic and burn bridges. One user on Reddit claims that 90s Bambino faked her death multiple times, was a heavy user of various substances, and begged her fans for money to fuel her habits. In regards to her relationship with Lil Tracy, it basically fell apart after 90s Bambino made a diss track on him and made a big deal about the distribution rights to some of their songs. A lot of the drama surrounding 90s Bambino has been wiped from the internet, but it seems that many fans and artists within the scene have lost respect for her. While it's clear she is struggling with some mental health issues, hopefully she is able to find the help she needs. Regardless, some of her songs have made a large impact on the underground scene. Schemaposse and its members have lived a much different story than other underground collectives. The original goal of Schemaposse was to bring artists from across the world together, which it did from 2014 to 2022. Its second run during the early 2020s brought the collective back to life, but it was officially disbanded by founder Jay Green. Their Twitter page has now been turned into some sort of history vault, which covers the legacy of all 70 plus Schema members throughout its existence. Covering all members would take many hours, but if you would like a part 2 to this video, please let me know which other Schemaposse members you would like covered. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like, and if you want more videos like this one, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have any suggestions for future videos, be sure to let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.